Hey guys, Stuart from Chaos Cards here, and I wanted to show you my Katana World deck from Future Card Buddyfight. Now, I already filmed a Dungeon World deck, which was kind of like a budget deck, good for new players. This is my tournament sort of level deck, if you like. This is what I run, this is what I like, and it works pretty well. There's a few things that I'm not too sure about, a few things I would change. I also have a sideboard, like a side deck for it. But yeah, it's really cool, I really like it, and I just wanted to run you through it. So let's have a look. Obviously the life counter with Zanya Kisaragi on it, and Tsukikage, because why not? The Katana World flag, of course, and the buddy is the Accelerate Ninja Hayate. So there you go, that's my buddy for the deck. It'd be really nice if I could get a foil version of him. I know you can't, because the third set, Drum's Adventure, was the first one to include like holo rares and holo commons and uncommons, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, there you go, he's the buddy for the deck. So let's have a look, starting with the size 3s. We have, I can't actually read the name because it's underneath that. I think it's Momochitamba, something like that, but let's just go with Noble Ninja Chanba for now. It's just because it's under the Ultra Pro sign, so I can't really read it very well. But yeah, he's the new main card from the starter deck. Really cool. I only run 2 size 3s. The other is the Slashing Azura. These are sort of interchangeable. I have 2 more, what do you call it? Size. I keep wanting to say grade, 2 size 3s in my extra board that I can switch in and out, which is kind of cool. Another size 2. We have Linzo. Really cool. He can search out my lethal formation, which is really cool. Zankyo, who 2 of Zankyo and 2 of the one before. Zankyo is really cool. He makes it so my ninja arts can't be nullified, which is a really cool effect. He's also a promo, so he may be hard to get for some, but I was quite lucky and managed to pick mine up from America, so that's pretty cool. 2 Toby Kato, who's really cool, just a vanilla with decent stats. We've got Seimei, 2 of her. Is it her or is it a guy? I think it's... See, I really don't know. It looks like a woman, but I could be totally wrong. But anyway, she lets you summon a token that is a, if I can read it from here, size 1, power 6000, defense 6000, critical 2, which is really cool. And then we have 2 of Benkei, just to round out the stats. For the size, he was the first size 1, so the next size 1 we have 3 of Shiden, one of Zanya's favourite monsters. His actual favourite monster, 2 Tsukikage. A lot of people run 4 Tsukikage. I find that you just don't have the power to use his ability if you run more than 2. I've tried it on 3, it doesn't work so well for me. I mean, there might be some of you guys watching this that think it works amazingly well, and if it does for you, then that's awesome, but for me it really doesn't work. So we have the Noble Thief Ninja next, who is also a promo. It's really cool. When it inflicts damage, you get to basically destroy one of their cards in their gauge, which is really cool. Not so much damage, not very powerful, but a cool little tech card to have in there. Again, it's a promo, so it may be hard to find. We have 4 Saizo and then 4 Hayate to round out the bottom level. Only 2 items, which is the 5 Heavenly Swords Onimaru. Just 2 of that. That's the only items I use because the deck doesn't really need them that much. It's just in there to sort of round it out. Onto the spells, we have 3 Hades 4. I would like to run 4 of this, but I'm reluctant to go above the amount of cards. This is a 52 card deck, so I'm reluctant to go above 52 if I can help it. So 3 for now. It's really cool. It basically acts like a bottomless trap hole from Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sense that you can set a card face down underneath it, and when your opponent summons a monster or calls a monster, you can reveal the card underneath this, and if it's the same size as the one they called, then it destroys it and this card. So it's kind of cool. 3 Clear Serenity. Counter as well, can be played on your opponent's turn, which is really good, especially for the impacts. That this can be played on your opponent's turn, because it just basically gives you 3 gauge for nothing. It's a +2 technically if you look at it that way, because you play this card and then you get 3 gauge, so you lose 1 card, you gain 3, you know, +2 really. It's pretty good. Again, 4 is, it seems overkill to me. I do Sideboard another one. Well, actually, I say I do. I haven't got a 3rd rare version. Sorry, a 4th rare version. I like my tournament style decks to be really coherent with the rarities, so yeah, I'm a bit bad like that. I can't help it. I like them to be you know, similar. So 3 of those for now. Shinobi Scrolls, 3 of those, basically allows you to pay 1 gauge and put any card into that card's soul and then draw a card. So it's pretty cool. You can also hide spells under it, which is really cool. Your opponent usually forgets they're under there, so that's helpful. 4 of this one, which is essentially just a negate attack, just stops 1 attack if it's not a link attack. So there you go. That was the Art of Body replacement, by the way. Then this one, the Art of Item Blasting. Pay 2 gauge and destroy an item on the field. Pretty cool. This one here is the Genpaku Giri, which is you can only cast this when your monster is destroyed. Destroy a monster on the opponent's field. 3 of those. Then we move on to the impacts. 2 Lethal Formation, 1 Star Crusher, 1 Moonfang, and 1 Shooting Star. And that is the entire deck. I'll just quickly go into a little bit of the reasons why I play some of these cards and some of the other choices that I had to me. As I said, this could run into a bit more of an expensive deck, because you've got things like a double R up here, you got some triple R's here, you got some double R's here. This is from the structure deck, but this is a triple R. Some rares mixed in there, some promos mixed in there. It can become expensive. My sideboard especially has a, well, it doesn't have to be like this, but my sideboard has an SP Katana in it, so you know, I like to pimp out my decks when I play it seriously. For decks that I'm not using seriously, I don't mind using commons, but yeah. So this is just the base build of the deck, really. These 2 level 3s, I'm just going to keep saying level, so I'm just going to go with it. I mean size, but I'm going to keep saying level. So these 2 size 3s are interchangeable. You could, depending on who you're playing, you could even add in another one, really. If you could find something to take out, you could take out one of these lower ones to just add a 3rd in if you really needed to. But the other options are Kotaro Fuma, who is really cool. If you can see, he's so shiny that it's hard to see his stats sometimes. Hopefully it can focus on that. Yeah, I believe that's 6,000, 2 crits and 5,000 defense. There's his effect. Pay 1 gauge to summon him. He has move and double attack, so he's pretty good to get in there. He's a low cost, so that's really helpful. And the other one is Wanderer of the Gold. 6, 2 and 5 again. He is 2 gauge, but when he attacks a monster, he attacks all monsters that they have, which is really cool. And he also does 1 damage to your opponent for every one he kills, so it's pretty nice. I do like that one. So you can pretty much just interchange between what you want to use. This guy, he's a solid choice just because he does cost 2 gauge, but he's a solid choice. He's got high stats, a nice 7,000, 7,000, 2 and 6. He's got double attack, and you gain 1 life when you summon him. So it's almost like a buddy call when you summon him, which is really nice. Just get you a little look down there. And then this one here, the double R. It's 6,000, 3 crits and 4,000 defense. You can pay 1 life and discard all cards in your hand, even if you have none, and destroy all monsters on your opponent's field. You can only use that once a turn, but it's really good because essentially if they've only got 3 life left, and you summon this, it's like, well, three damage unless they can negate it. So it's a good end game card. You just need to use it at the right time, I think, is the key with that one. So moving on to the 2s, we have Linzo from the new structure deck. He's a 3/2/6. 6 is really good because a lot of the ninjas, especially Zanya's build for this, because there are other builds of Katana World, including the Demon Way version and the Burn version, which I have some of the cards for that actually. I'm thinking of testing it out as a second deck, but we shall see. He'd pay 1 gauge, so he does have a cost to him, but when he enters the field you can search your card for a Secret Sword lethal formation. So you can search for one of these, and as you know, these allow you to get your Secret Swords from pretty much anywhere, which is awesome, really, because it means you only have to run the one of each. You don't have to go mental. So moving on, we have Toby Keita, 4, 3, and 3. Just a generic monster, 3 crits, really nice. Having a look at Seimei, I've already explained. Shiden's pretty cool. He's used in the show a lot. I do watch the show. I think I'm up to date on the show. I really like the show, actually. It's awesome. And I realise I just said show about 1,000,000 times. But he's got an effect. You may discard a ninja arts from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, draw 2 cards. You can only use that once per turn. But it's cool. Relatively weak. But it's really, you're getting them out there for their effects, and they seem to use them and then get murdered, and then it's kind of funny because a lot of your cards seem to get killed, but then just like he says in the show and just like it's written there, you've stepped on my trap. It's essentially like that because they think they're winning, then all of a sudden you hit them with something that they just can't stop, and it's really fun. So we have Tsukikage, the buddy monster of Zanya. He has nanomachine body replacement. If he would be destroyed, you can discard a non-monster from your hand. If you do, this card remains on the field. So it's like Soul Guard from the hand, basically. He is a 5/2/1. Shame about the 1, but he is a size 1. So there's a bit of a trade-off there, because he's pretty damn powerful for a size 1. 2, as I said, is probably my best number to run him on. 4 is just far too cloggy, and you can never use the effect of 4 of them. It just does not work. This game depletes your hand very, very quickly, unless you've got some good draw power, so I'd just be careful with that. This guy I already mentioned, he's a promo, and he destroys gauge when he does damage, which is cool. Saizo and Hayate are just low level, decent damage, decent stats monsters. Also the buddy Hayate has move, which is really cool. The sword over there is pretty good. It's only really for maybe game winning situations, or I don't know really. It's just there to round out the deck, I suppose. It's there if I need it. It's 6,000 power with 3 crits. Let me just see if I can get the camera there in a good position. It's kind of difficult to do this. Yeah, there you go. When you equip this card, put the top 2 cards of your deck into this card's soul. At the end of your turn, if this card is rested, put a card from this card's soul into the drop zone. If you cannot, destroy this card. So basically he gets 2 attacks, and then at the end of that turn he's going to explode. I say he, it's a sword, but you know what I mean. Already mentioned these. This is a Demon Way card, but it's usable in here, so it's fine. The Secret Sword lethal formation here is, if you don't know, you choose a card from your hand, deck, or drop zone and put it face down into this card's soul. If you searched your deck, shuffle it. You may look at this card's soul and cast a secret sword from the soul by paying its cast cost. And these are your secret swords, these 3 here, for different situations. This one is a triple R, and I think it's because it's the best one. These 2 are just rares. I believe these are also in the structure deck, I think. I don't think Star Crusher is, but I think these 2 are. They all have pay 3 gauge, so again, if you cast Clear Serenity on your opponent's turn, which you can do, you can gain 3 gauge from this. So, you know, it goes hand in hand with that. This one, basically, when your opponent casts a spell, you can look at the card underneath this, so this would be face down underneath that one. You reveal this one, you deal 3 damage to your opponent and nullify the spell that they cast, so that's really cool. Also, it does say in brackets just here, you cannot play this card from your hand, so it doesn't play like a regular impact. You need this one. This is the key to the whole of the impact system that this deck runs. It's really unique, and it's kind of what drew me to the deck as a whole, just this impact system here. Most of the time you run like 3 Gargantua Punisher if you're a Dragon World player, but this has some sort of really cool synergy with itself. It's just interesting, and it drew me to it, because Katana World, funnily enough, was actually my least favorite of the worlds to begin with. The artwork and the way they looked and the way they worked, and once I saw it working in the show, it really inspired me to look at it more, and I love it now. I absolutely love Katana World, and I don't know why. It's just really weird. It really grew on me. So that's Star Crusher. These all have the exact same effect except for different things. So this one is if your opponent plays an impact, you can deal 3 damage to your opponent and nullify the impact. And this one is if you're being attacked by a weapon, you can activate this, deal 3 damage to your opponent and destroy the item. So yeah, all for different situations. So that's the deck. That is the main deck. What I'm going to do is quickly just put the camera down a second and try not to knock it over. Actually, let's put this here. Just ignore my transformers in the background. So yeah, this was the little sideboard that I was telling you about. Obviously you saw these guys here. Just let my camera focus. Does take a while. Come on, camera, you know you want to. There you go. So yeah, we have these. Then I also have this one here, Sarutobi. You can pay 1 gauge and put this into the drop zone, and if you do, you can put a spell on the field into the drop zone, so it's good in a mirror match if you're playing against the other version of this deck that uses a lot of set spells. This one uses a lot of set spells too, but it's just handy to have in a mirror match, I think. It also works pretty well against Dungeon World with all their mission cards, so 3 of those. I have the Sakura Fubuki, I believe it? Sakura Fubuki? Yeah. Pay 2 life, you may only cast this card when your opponent casts a spell. Nullify the spell. So there you go. 2 life to nullify a spell. Again, it's a Demon Way card. It may come in handy if I go against a deck that uses a lot of spells. This is just if you're being attacked by a weapon, you can nullify the attack and draw a card, which again is pretty cool. Great artwork as well with him catching the sword. And then Ninja Arts Steel Ball. Just choose a ninja in battle, and for this battle give it 3000, 3000 and counter attack, so 2 of those. Not anything special inside, just some different stuff for different situations, again, you know, because this is a tournament deck. So just wanted to quickly show you guys this before I go on for too long. Come on. Right, this stuff here is pretty much built around using the other type of deck. The guy that looks like a character from Naruto uses it in the show. I cannot remember his name, but you can use cards like this where you can use it as a counter. He also has counter attack as well. You may discard a card from your hand. If you do, for this turn, add to this card the power, defense and critical of the card discarded with this ability. You can only use it once per turn and he gets counter attack. Very low stats, but decent effect, so because he will gain whatever you discard, so it's pretty cool. The reason there's 4 is just because that's what I happen to have sitting around just in case I need them. We have the Sniping Ninja Yoichi, or Yoichi, however you want to say it. When the monster in front of this card rests, so when it attacks, when it uses an effect that requires rest, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Again, decent defense, okay-ish attack for a level 1 and 1 damage. So we've got 4 of those. Be nice to get some foils of that one, actually. I actually have 1 foil of this one. This is Gokuen. He's got a counter. You may discard a ninja from your hand. If you do, for this turn, this card gets 4000 defense, so he goes up to 9k defense if you do that. And this card works with one that I will show you in a moment. So we've got those. You got the Demon Way card. I don't really. It stops an attack on a monster in your center, essentially, and you'll see why that's important later. Now, this is the character from the show that I was mentioning. He is the one that uses this entire deck that I'm showing you the cards for now. Pay 2 gauge at the beginning of your main phase. Deal 1 damage to your opponent, and this is a set spell, so it stays on the field the whole time. So yeah. Again, the same character. I've got 1 foil of this. Pay 1 life and rest a monster. Now, you saw those cards earlier on that say when it was Yoichi, when a card in front of this rests, do 1 damage. So you pay 1 life and you get to rest one of their cards to do a damage to it. Yes, you pay 1 life, of course. So it's sort of 1 life for one life. But with all the other ways that you can burn your opponents, this becomes really useful. And you will outburn them, as in you will beat them before they beat you. That's sort of the way it works. Now, this is what I was talking about. Pay 1 gauge. This card remains on the field, by the way. Monsters on the left and right cannot be attacked by both players or their monsters. So you summon the Yoichi to one side, and then there's a card back here. You can probably see the foil a bit back there that I'm going to show you in a minute that you would summon to the other side. So Yoichi on one side, maybe, or 2 Yoichis, however you want to do it. And you can just keep resting cards. And every time they try to make an attack on your center, they're going to take damage. So it burns them and keeps it so that they can only attack your center. Again, that Demon Way card, wherever it is, where is it? That one there stops attacks on the center. So this is how this one works. Although if they break this setup, you are quite screwed. It's just another way to run the deck, really. And then the buddy for that deck is Yamigarasu. He was in the show as well. So I've got 4 doubles of Yamigarasu, and the buddy would be the SP that I managed to grab when I bought a box. He was the first SP I actually pulled, and he's got a really cool like square foil effect. I don't know if that comes across on the camera. I think it does, but it extends the artwork off of the borders as well, as you can see. Looks awesome. But yeah, that's the buddy for that deck. So there you go. So guys, that's been my Katana World deck. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at it. If you guys are running Katana World, please get in touch with me. I'm always willing to talk about this game. I love everything about it. I do read all the comments, so if you want to say something to me, if you want to chat about the game, if you want to discuss deck ideas, if you want to discuss anything at all about Buddyfight, please let me know, and I will be in touch. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you all very soon.